everyone, and welcome back to Reddit Recon. We're going to look at a few stories today on the subreddit Today I Fucked Up. Let's go ahead and get started on the first one. TIFU by paying a young boy to go to the toilet. Okay, hold up. Here's the story. I was at my son's 7th birthday party. We were at a botanical garden with a playground, etc. One of the moms dropped her son off, and we had a chat as she left. I commented that her son seemed a bit down. She told me that his father had visited and had called him stupid. What a piece of shit. Anyways, I told her I'd keep an eye on him, and I noticed he was getting really upset at particularly anything. He felt that he was being targeted during chasey, and if they didn't chase him enough, he felt excluded. So anyways, I was having a chat with him at one point, and he said he needed to go to the toilet. I pointed out that the toilets were not far away, and said, "They're over there, go to the big blue door." He was really hesitant and asked me to take him. I always feel that there's a stigma of taking a small boy away from the group when it's not your kid. I walked over there with him, and told him that I'd wait by the door, outside and in view of the mums. He came out, and as he walked by, I spotted $2 on the ground, and I said, "Hey Oscar, $2. Stick it in your pocket, mate. Don't tell anyone, or they'll try to take it off you." You know, trying to lift his spirits and make him feel special. So when we get back to the group, and what does he do? Pulls out the $2, shows all the mums, and says, "Jake's dad took me to the toilet, and I got $2. And of course, without thinking, I blurt out, "Hey, I said don't tell anyone. FML. Alright, let's see if there's any good comments in here. This commenter says, "I hate the way everyone judges men like that. If the exact same circumstances happened but you were a woman, it would be completely fine, which is kinda stupid. It should be fine for both." OP says, "Yeah, I agree. Classic case of minority making things worse for the majority." Yes, officer. This post right here. There's actually a kind of sad story in the comments right here. I am black, my adopted daughter is white with blonde hair and blue eyes, albeit I also have blue eyes. I never once did not have someone alert staff when I took her into the family change room at the pool when she was 3. Her mom, blonde and blue-eyed, and her niece, we adopted, was working at the pool, so I would drop her off to work, take my daughter for a swim, then we'd leave and my wife would come home via a Lyft or get a train nearby and would pick her up. At least the people at the pool knew my wife and knew me, and thus after a couple of times, all staff were told, "Oh, and John is bringing in X's daughter, and as they don't look alike, we have been getting complaints. Make sure it is him, but tell the complainer that he is the girl's father and the husband of a staff member, so they have nothing to worry about," in a terse tone and not engage. But really, I am white enough that in the US, I probably would be thought of as white, as I am a white Aboriginal. It's just I look tanned and I have Aboriginal body type. But very frustrating to have people yelling, "Watch that man! That's not his child!" across the pool when I was going to shower and dry her. Many people like A, a scandal, and B, most people trust the person who speaks first and expects you to disprove it. This commenter says, "Sad side effect of this modern world. You have to think about how people around you will judge your actions and presume the worst. When I was in my 20s, I had a job tutoring literacy in primary school. During the training, prior to any particular work in the school, our trainers told us that the only way to be safe from allegations was to never be alone with children." Alright, let's take a look at the second story. TIFU by having a date with a girl from the pet store and ended up having to explain to the cops why she's not breathing in my lobby. This one is pretty long. TIFU by having a date with a girl from the pet store and ended up having to explain to the cops why she's not breathing in my lobby. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a ride. Okay, a little backstory. I got a rescue puppy back in January, and she was terrified of everything and everyone. There was a pet store down the street I used to carry her to and try to expose her to the outside world and other people. The girl who worked at the pet store instantly bonded with my puppy. Wow. My dog wouldn't let anyone else go near her without her crying or peeing or being terrified. So naturally we became regulars, and the more and more I interacted with this girl, and the more I saw her interactions with my dog and other people in the store, she seemed super sweet and just an all-around good person. I asked her for her number, even though I felt uncomfortable doing that to a woman in her place of work, but she seemed receptive, so that's good. It's also surprisingly hard to meet someone in my city. We exchange a few messages and go out for a walk with my dog together. Everything seems great. She's educated, cute, loves animals. Everything seems great. We ended up back at my place for a few drinks, 4 or 5 max. This is kind of an important detail, and we stopped drinking around 10 p.m., and she ends up staying over. Now here's where it all goes downhill. I woke up in the middle of the night, and she was yelling at herself about how her dad is an asshole and some other crazy talk. Very scattered subjects. Hence why I can't be more specific, but that one stuck out to me. Very strange behavior for 2 a.m. I tried to calm her down or try and figure out what the was going on. She didn't even seem to notice she was doing it. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you? We had a really nice evening, but this girl just turned crazy. There was clearly something wrong. She wasn't shouting at me. She wasn't even shouting at herself. Just into nothing. Into a void." I repeatedly tried to stop her, but she couldn't see the issue, as if she wasn't even aware she was doing it. Eventually I gave up and just went to sleep on the sofa because I couldn't deal with it. She came in and cried and said she didn't mean to upset me, and can we just go back and sleep together? Sure, that's all I wanted anyways. Can we please just sleep? And can you please just stop shouting, yelling, talking? When we got to the bedroom, she turned around and she had the craziest eyes I've ever seen, and I've dated redheads, and says, "Don't you ever fucking talk to me like that ever again, or I swear to God." Now at this point, I've seen behavior like this before, and it's very concerning. Nope, get out. I cut her short on whatever threat she was going to make. Get the fuck out. Cue crying again. But I'm a girl, you can't do this to me. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not doing this. It's 2 a.m. and I'm not having you talk to me like this. At this point, there was a lot of back and forth, from crying of, "But how am I meant to get home?" Jump to, "Well, you, I'm leaving." So she gathers her things and claims to not know how to get out of the building. It's a condo building. You walk down the hall to an elevator. If there isn't an elevator, you went the wrong way, so go the other way down the hall. Bearing in mind, she lives in a condo building 3 blocks away. It's not like she doesn't know how a condo works or what area she's in. So I offer to walk her to the door, or at least the elevator. I want her out, but I'm not just going to throw her literally out the door without her things. I just want her out. There's clearly something not right, and I don't want to deal with whatever it is, or whatever will come of more of this behavior. So I help her gather things and open the door for her, and start showing her where the elevator is. Walking down the hall, she collapsed, like dead weight, and no, she wasn't faking it. She was out cold, out of the blue, just folded up right there in the hall. Now here's where I f***ed up. My thought process was, hell nah, you're still leaving. So I drag her unconscious body down the hall and bundle her in the elevator. Yep, very aware. This was a mistake in hindsight. Bearing in mind, I was not expecting to be leaving, so you can imagine the look on the concierge's face when I rock up out of the elevator in my boxer shorts saying, "Aw man, I f***ed up, you gotta help me here." He's dialing 911, and sure enough, the elevator disappeared up the 4th floor. We called it back, but obviously, someone had tried to use the elevator, and the door would have opened up to that train wreck. I'm sure the look on their faces would have been priceless. Anyways, it came back, and she was still unconscious. We're talking to the 911 operator, answering the base questions, address, what happened, etc. And just like a horror movie, we turn around, and she's awake. Stood there, crazy eyes and all. She was awake long enough to yell at the concierge before she passed out again, this time hitting her head on the marble floor in the lobby. I'll never forget the sound of her head hitting the floor, or the concierge, ooh, wince at the sound of it. So here's how the 911 call went. He's on the speakerphone with me and the concierge there. 911, okay, so I need you to say now every time she takes a breath, and I don't want you to stop until I say so. Do you understand? Me, yep, got it, 911. Okay, start now. Okay, I don't think you understand my instructions. Me, no dude, I understood. Okay, so start now and don't stop until I say so. Go. Me, okay, 911 again. Me, dude, I understand. If she takes a breath, I'll say now. So now, of course, she's not breathing. 911. Okay, you need to start CPR, and the concierge needs to go get a defibrillator. So here I am in my boxers doing CPR in the lobby of my building. A fire truck pulls up after only 2 minutes. They have a defibrillator. The concierge still hasn't come back yet. So they take over, and an ambulance follows shortly, where they bundle her in to the back and drive off. Holy shit, what just happened? And of course, now the cops turn up. Did I mention there's cameras in the elevator, and just the part of the hallway that shows me dragging an unconscious girl whom is not breathing? Yeah. Try explaining that one. So the cops want to know, why are you kicking a girl out at 2 a.m.? And why is she not breathing? And what's this on video? I told them everything, but of course they didn't believe me. Now I'm terrified. What if she's dead? Nothing about this looks good for me. What if she's alive, but clearly she has psychological issues and decides to remember things a different way? Or in her mind, I attacked her. Or if the cops turn up and say, "What did he do?" and then it triggers her to say I did something. Fast forward 3 days, and every time the phone rings, I'm expecting it to be the cops. I have no idea if the girl's alive or dead, or if she woke up in the hospital and the cops questioning her, "What did he do to you?" etc, etc. Every day I have this hanging over me. I don't know what to do. I did text to see if she was alive, no reply. I'm headed to the LCBO for a bottle of wine, and bang, she's right there in front of me. "Hi, how's it going? So great to see you." Hi, I thought you were dead." "Oh, I was, but just for a few minutes." "Yeah, I know. I was the one doing CPR." "Oh, I'm sorry. That explains why my chest hurts, I guess." "Oh well, you want to hang out? We could go back to your place for some drinks again." She has no recollection. Wants to come hang out. No, absolutely not. She had no idea about any of it. Needless to say, I said no. Glad you're alive. Good luck. Goodbye. She left me a too long voicemail a few days later, crying and trying to apologize. I don't need that in my dog's life, I'm afraid. I have many questions, as do many of my friends, as well as people on the comment thread I put this on before. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll have any of those answers. And I'm not going to contact this person again to try and find answers. I'm aware dragging her down the hall and throwing her in the elevator wasn't the kosher thing to do. Okay, that was a pretty long and crazy story. So let's go ahead and dive into the comment section. We found a Reddit doctor over here. My best guesses are complicated seizure, diabetic, medication interaction, certain tumors. Alright, so in this comment, the Redditor asked, "Can someone tell me exactly what happened to her? I mean, why was she shouting suddenly and then perfectly normal the next second? Why she has no recollection of what happened that night?" And this Redditor replied and has a lot of rewards, so maybe this is what people are actually thinking happened. "Considering the sudden yelling and not remembering remembering anything after drinking, and the fact that she stopped breathing, it sounds like it could have been a diabetic emergency. If I were OP, I'd ask if she's diabetic, and if she says yes, give her a second chance, and if not, then nah. Edit 1. It's been pointed out that it could be an interaction of psych meds, alcohol, as well. OP. Does this explain the behavior as well? Not just the collapsing? Yeah, hypoglycemia can make a patient go into a state of delirium. If she does say that she is, and you decide to give her a second chance, I'd probably not drink with her again. Or if you do, try to make sure she checks her blood sugar regularly. Also, buy her a nice medical alert bracelet or anklet that says she's diabetic. Alright, so that one was a wild ride. Let's go ahead and move on to the third and final story of this video. TIFU by leaving a 3-star review for our engagement photographer. So this still all doesn't feel real. I had a full panic attack over it, and I'm still freaked out. We hired a photographer for our engagement and wedding photos, and after we got our engagement photos, realized he wasn't a good fit. We didn't like the photos. He was cagey and uncomfortable, and frequently missed meetings. He said he wouldn't give us any refund for the wedding portion of the deposit, close to $3,000, despite it being over a year away, and us offering to help transfer our date to a new couple. He was honestly pretty aggressive with me. Specifically, despite both me and my fiance talking to him, we agreed that we can move forward with him and look at the possible solutions. A month later, he emailed saying he found another couple for our date and wanted to know if we wanted to cancel. We asked if he'd refund us, and he still said no, despite the new client. Finally, he agreed to give back a few $100s. We left some reviews about our mixed experience, left 3 out of 5 stars. We're exceedingly kind about the parts that he did well, nice lighting, but we're honest about a lack of communication and him asking to hire a new client without refunding us. A few minutes later, I get harassing emails and texts demanding I take down the reviews, claiming I'm ruining his family, etc. We told him the reviews were honest, and if he felt we'd been unfair, we would edit the reviews. No response. And here's the part where the story gets kind of weird, and this is what people are thinking, that maybe it's fake. 30 minutes later, we were in a random town getting lunch, 2 hours from where we live, 3 states from where he is. I hear him call my name. He's somehow in this random town and runs me down and my fiance. He starts threatening us, saying we had no right to leave the contract. Not true. He left, and also we can leave up to 120 days from the wedding. He threatens to sue us and starts yelling in the middle of a crowded plaza. I'm honestly very afraid at this point and just keep trying to escape and walk away. He gets in his car and follows us, saying we will hear from his lawyer. I felt like I was living in a fever dream. Alright, let's go into the comments on this one. Update the review with these details and add 1 out of 5 rating and a restraining order. I like this comment right here. Guy screamed at me, threatened a lawsuit, told us we were ruining his career, and chased me down hours away from my own home, but definitely worth 1 star for his bomb-ass lighting. And like me, there's a couple skeptics in the comments for this one. I believe this until he showed up 2 hours away to yell at you. Unless he has a tracking device on you, that is not realistic. This Reddit replies, reads like a Clint Eastwood movie. Now I found you. You're gonna delete that review, punk. Here's another skeptic. Honestly, don't really believe the whole confrontation stalking aspect of this one. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. Go ahead and leave a comment down below if you think this one right here about the wedding photographer is fake or not. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.